no!
Welcome back to the DGD Podcast. This is Robert Reynolds. That's Keon Kendrick.
Yo.
Plug from Texas right there. Guys, Dawgs on top 34-3 over them Clemson Tigers. Them great value, Tony the Tiger looking motherfucking Clemson Tigers. Holy cow. First things first, excellent game. We'll talk more about that. We'll review this whole game, break it down for you. We've also got some things we've got to bring up. It is the first installation of Your Team is Trash. So stay tuned. We got a loaded show. Make sure to like, follow, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Keon, let's do this. Let's get your mile-high view overview of Saturday. What was it about?
Belt to ass.
Boy. Yeah, I don't think I ain't never telling a lie right there. That don't sound like one. That does not sound like a lie right there.
Looking like belt to ass from this view, Bob.
Yes. Back to you, Fred.
Back to you, James.
I'm going to tell you this right now, man. That loss for Clemson, I'm going to get this out of the way. That loss for Clemson does not knock them out of playoff contention.
No, it doesn't.
But there are some – Dabo Swinney said it best in his postgame conference that Georgia exposes you. When you play Georgia, you get exposed. It's just what happens. Kind of paraphrasing, but that's just what he said. Do you agree with it?
100%. I mean, at this point, we're really bringing the worst out of teams, and they're good teams. For a lot of people's thought process, we're just bringing more than what they can handle.
I will say this: defensively, their defensive front four, I love it. I love it. It's going to keep them competitive in the ACC. I promise you that. Peter Woods, I actually like Wade Woodaz, showed me a lot, if you will. Showed me a lot. I thought he played really good. My takeaway, Keon, is this. Welcome to recruiting gap, and it's on full display. Overall, the team speed, light years apart, and it showed.
Yeah.
It showed.
Yeah.
I saw Roddy White. He commented on made a kind of a racial comment, really more so than anything. What it felt like talking about team speed, really. I don't think it was a race thing, and I'll tell you why. When you have London Humphreys pulling away from another white boy, that's white on white crime right there. All right.
We might just have the more exciting whites. That's just really.
Oh, that is the motto. Yes, that was the motto Saturday. The exciting whites. Exciting whites. Let's do this. Biggest takeaway for you, Keon. Biggest takeaway. What is it?
Our defense is striking, for sure. Offensive line played a really good game. Really good game. But our defense as a whole is striking. KJ Bolden starting, coming out there straight out the gate, making plays on his first drive. Our depth is absolutely insane.
I want to do this. Obviously, you mentioned KJ Bolden. It did not take long to get his stamp of playing.
Yeah.
You knew he was there immediately.
Dude, a certified guy.
You know, the interesting thing about it is how physical he was. But if you really pay attention, you know, when he did the photo where it's just like this right here, look at how much he still got to fill out.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. That is the very scary part. So there was interesting news that happened that I guess the Georgia team did a very fucking good job. Very good job keeping this under wraps. Like 15 minutes before the game, Jalen Jonel Aguero out. Fear not, though. The rotation I thought was very interesting because it seemed like the first drive or so, you start off by a combination. You had Ja'Cory Thomas at your star. You had Dan and Malachi, right? That's your safeties. And then all of a sudden, you see KJ Bolden in, and he comes down and he strikes Phil Maffa and flips him up over his head. And he does that iconic little thing right there. And at that point, there was no turning back.
No,
You put the adjustment to put Malachi Starks at the star position is something that I want to see a permanent move. I'll tell you why. When you're at the star position, you have a ton more opportunities to impact a play, every play, not just one, every play.
Yeah.
If someone think about this, if a team wants to game plan against you and try to run away from you as a safety, it's easier to do that, ain't it?
100%.
Not when you're at the star. You're like 7 yards off the ball. And if you really think about it, we're going to talk about this pick for a second. I haven't seen that good of a coverage in the slot, right, from the nickel in what feels like years. And we've had some good star play. But it's just different. It's just different. And I'm here for it. These adjustments, guys, it ultimately led to a swarming defense. And it wasn't even like it was just blatantly obvious that defense was all over the field, more physical, more athletic, more in shape. We rotated well. That was something else that I was appreciative of. I was able to see that. But mine, Keon, I want to switch over to the exact opposite side of the ball. Welcome to college football, Nate Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the league, buddy. Man, oh man. Provided a spark for the running back room that was much needed.
Immediately.
And honestly, and listen, for those that question Branson, part of me doesn't know if he's really 100%.
Right.
But I will tell you this. I don't think that matchup was stylistically good for him.
At all.
It wasn't. And it's nothing against Branson. Just isn't. It's just the styles make matchups, guys. The elusiveness, the speed, the twitch, all that stuff, all that you saw with Nate Frazier was the X factor for our offense in the run game. You end up with 169 total rushing yards. Only had like 50 or something like that in the first half. Second half, you start making those adjustments. Boom, 100. I think it was 100 yards or so. So it's like when you look at that right there, that change. And keep in mind, this is all while ETN serving that 1 game suspension. So you don't have ETN, you don't have Ryder Robinson, obviously. So you're down to, third string, fourth string running back. Oh, yeah, by the way, fifth string running back, Cash Money Records, holding it down for the 99s to the 2000s, baby.
Yeah, he went crazy.
Yeah. If you want to know how much more physical Georgia was around the clock, like just all around, ask Jaden Lucas, number 10. Cash Jones is like a fifth string running back. And my man face planted, just stiff armed his ass into the dirt while keeping his balance.
Man.
While scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
Boy, we said exciting whites. We're going to be saying exciting whites often tonight because it was just all over the field. So welcome to the league, Nate Frazier.
No, for real.
Let's do this. Let's kind of go positional here. We're going to do our report cards per position group, if you will. We'll start off with the quarterbacks. Carson Beck. I'm giving him a solid. Let me give him an A-.
Yeah.
Give him A-. There was a couple plays where, and he knew it. One was a crosser to, was it Dom?
Dominic Lovett.
It was. Yeah, that was kind of behind him. If he leads him, I think it's 6.
Yeah.
Other than that, you really didn't see any in bad positions, anything like that. I think he took 1 sack. But guys, what really elevated this was 3rd and long, his evasion to slide up in the pocket and extend drives. I had said it before. 3rd and long is somewhere you did. I said this last episode on the preview. You did not want to be in that situation. 3rd and long, you did not want to do that, period. And we found a way for the most part. We weren't necessarily the best on 3rd downs, by the way, but we did have some extensions of drives because of his feet. And it forced them to have to kind of respect it, even though they didn't really fully sell out to respecting it. It made the difference, though. So I'm giving him A-. Keon, what would you give the quarterback room?
Yeah, I think A- is honestly a fair grade. Didn't see much of anything to really bring it down any lower than that. No, that's it. I gotta say, it's a two. What is it? It's a Monday morning. Jesus, Monday night.
Also, happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
If you're
for sure.
if you're watching live, we do this at night. So happy Labor Day still, but happy belated if you're listening to it in the morning.
Jesus Christ, Florida State is getting their shit kicked in right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, 28-13 in the 4th quarter. Yeah, Jeff Hata said, rough few days for those Florida teams at home. TriStar Florida State down bad. Absolutely. Both comments are true. DJ Ugabaduki is just that, Ugabaduki. It is not good. So, yeah, we're keeping up with this live because, well, it's still college football. But Chase White says the script of the first half was ass. If he's talking about Georgia, and I will explain why I don't believe that comment if you're talking about Georgia, and I'll tell you why. On Thursday's preview show, I told you, I kind of broke it down to an extent that based off of prior film last season, bowl game, their spring game, I expected them to do a lot of man coverage, pressure team. When we trotted out Saturday on offense, it was immediately apparent that they did not do that whatsoever. Georgia prepared for a pressured man coverage team. And it took 3-4 plays. By the 4th play, and shout out Brooks Austin for doing the film study on this. By the 4th play, Mike Bobo was assessing it and designing plays to try to beat the coverages. We did a lot of things more than normal to dictate what kind of coverage they were in, what kind of zone. Was it 3? Things like that. They did a mixed coverage, Chase. So instead of just pure cover 3, you would get a cover 2, cover 1. So you get all these blends of zone coverage. So having to dictate that scatter motion is, you say you're bunched up. You just do this right here. People scatter, right? The defense has to, you kind of dictate what they're doing. You force their hand to show the coverage by spreading everybody out from bunch. That way you can see better what kind of coverage they're in. You're forcing them to tell you basically what kind of coverage they're running for you to then call the play and then beat the coverage. So I don't necessarily say the script was ass per se. I think I'll tell you right now, people want to shit on Mike Bobo, and I'm not a fan of that. I thought the coordinating for that game, spot on. There was a couple of things that you probably could do. I think anybody would say that. I'm just here to let you know that's what coordinating is. Coordinating is not explosive plays like Lane Kiffin. Coordinating is basically taking what the defense gives you and calling around and trying to find beaters to that. They did that. He did that to the tune of 34-3. Now, sure, we were we were up 6-0. Understandably so. So a lot of people are going to see 6-0 and be like, oh, that wasn't that great. Guys, that defense is fucking legit. Keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. So there was some. Chase also talks about didn't agree with the inside zone. Again, we did inside zone with Branson Robinson. I just said Branson Robinson stylistically is not a good matchup against Clemson. Why you think Nate Frazier came in and immediately made an impact? But I get your point. I do understand that. So I understand people's frustrations, guys. Yeah, 100%. He also says after the first half, it was great. Yeah, you made the halftime adjustments. You knew what they were doing, and you sat there and you're giving Carson Beck time to sit back and pick a zone. Come on, soft zone at that. 10-yard coverage, guys. 10 yards of cushion from the corners. That's Carson Beck. That's bread and butter for Carson Beck every day. He's going to do that. If you do that, even in the league, I guarantee he'll tear apart zone defense. He's that smart. Keon, you got anything you want to say on that, or are you good?
I mean, I'm good, honestly. Like,
Fucking cook. That's what I'm talking about.
bro, at the end of the day, I mean, you have to assess your opponent, point blank, period. And I think we did like a great job of doing that in the game. Sometimes you got to re-strategize and then attack. I think we did that.
Yeah,
I think, we were able to really get it all the way through there. So,
Now I think it was a telltale sign. On Chase talked about the second half, guys. In the second half, you saw London Humphreys with the crossing route across, and then Bobo literally designed that up to say, "Catch us if you can." Couldn't do it. Team speed, like I said, that was the theme for me. Apparently, gap between the team speed of the two teams, and it showed. It completely showed. So I'm gonna give it A. I'm gonna give it A. Since we kind of went off on this, I'm gonna give it A grade to the offensive coordinating.
yeah, 100%.
Because keep in mind, 17 Wade Woodass as the linebacker, that's an NFL player. Y'all know Peter Woods, NFL player. Barrett Carter, NFL player. There's some player. Just because we knew Clemson's offense wasn't going to be all that, guys, that defense, legit.
Yeah.
Like, just because what we did to them 34-3 does not mean that the rest of their season, their defense can dominate. Because more than likely it will. So I'm going to give my hats off to them from defensive. Offensively, we just took advantage of it. Damn it, Trey.
Yep.
Let's do this. Running backs. Excuse me. Running backs.
A+.
You going A+. I'm assuming it's because of what? I'll let you explain.
I mean, from Nate Frazier to Cash Jones going out there and going crazy, honestly, I mean, there's no other thing. I mean, there's nothing else that you could really say. Plus, having Branson back there, not only on run plays, but also pass plays. Excuse me, his pass blocking as well. I think these guys did really well as a unit.
Yeah, so I want to interject here. 28-13 with 6 minutes left in the ball game for Florida State. Keon, I think it's safe to say we'll do this live on air, whether it be YouTube or Twitter. If you're listening on podcast, you'll catch what we're doing now. Florida State, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Also, your season is over.
Your season getting cooked, and you're officially in week 1. You're still in week 1 technically.
2 games in
and
for
your
you.
Season's over.
Welcome to an emergency. Your season is over. Your team is trash. Combo segment here.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going to be 0-2 in conference. There's no chance. I think the people on ESPN were saying 1% chance to make the playoffs with a loss. Guys,
with a loss here?
Yeah.
See.
Your season is over. Good Lord, your season's over, and it ain't even get started because DJ, you didn't even get started. But my word, I'm going to do this just because. Hey, Florida State, no fans. I want to let you know. Pay attention. Look right in this camera. See me? Look over here. Ready for this? Your team is fucking trash. Georgia broke you, and it shows. You could never get over the 60-point loss, and that shit is translating over to this season. Not sorry. Not
Chase
sorry.
Is here talking about how do you feel about the O-line? I think the O-line did well. I think they had a really good game on their end as well. What up, Wallace?
Yes. Save that, Chase. We will definitely grade out the O-line. Keon, what was your grade again for the running back? Sorry, we had to do that emergency.
A+.
I'm going A. I wish I would give it an A+ if Branson was effective as well too. Like I said, stylistically, I'm not taking that much against him. and he was coming back off of a full year out. So I'm going to give it an A. I think there was some room improvements. Reason being, I wanted to see Nate Frazier do a little bit better in the pass game. There was a couple. I think there was a nice drop that would have been a good game there. In time, though, I expect him to get more comfortable. Listen, he just started playing football at Georgia 6 weeks ago. So there's really not much to be mad about, right? There's not much to be mad about. Just going to leave it there. 80-some yards. I think the funny thing is, oh, yeah, by the way, paying homage to running back you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And then also, if I'm not mistaken, I saw this stat that his 80, I think it was like 83 or 85 yards was the most in a debut since none other than Todd Gurley. Damn, make it make sense, boys. Make it make sense. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's do this. Receivers. I'm giving the receivers. I'm giving them an A, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, Dom Lovett missed a pass, but that was more so Carson misplaced in the pass. Outside of that, I'm telling you right now, Arian Smith, his expansion of the route tree, guys, is going to be so huge for the success of this receiving core. I'm telling you now. The fact that you saw Clemson give him 10 yards instead of a go route, you hit the comeback. Guys, that's a win by design just because of the space creation. You're taking their advantage and their leverage and momentum, and you're cooking them without even having to do much. You just catch the damn ball. By the way, I think 5 receptions too. So shout out to Arian Smith. But even more impressive, did you see how attentive or how willing he was to block? Guys, that's all you need to know. It's all you need to know. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Dabo Swinney, they showed a stat for Clemson. Since 2018, Keon, since 2018, there have been 0 snaps zero starters from the portal, if I'm not mistaken, on Clemson. Since 2018, no starting snaps from anybody hit the portal. I find it ironic that 2 touchdowns came from 2 different wide receivers, both Georgia picked up in the portal this offseason. We're getting I love this. We're getting live stats from this Florida State game. Boys, Florida State has 21 rushing yards, and there's 4.5 minutes left in this game. Oh, man. Jeff Hightoff, going back to the running backs, Frazier's over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns if he didn't stumble. Yeah, he was hitting the edge, and the turf monster got him. I saw he got pissed about it too.
You know what makes it so crazy about Frazier is that I immediately felt like with him coming in, with him, Chauncey Bowens, and Dwight Phillips, we were getting like that Todd Gurley, that Nick Chubb, that Sony Michel kind of vibe. And I ain't want to just jump out there and say it, but then you come out here in your first game after being on campus for not even 2 fucking months, and you ball out like this. And it's like, Todd Gurley. Right there. There it is.
That's a bold, I guess you could say comparison there, but it's definitely promising. I'll tell you that. Listen, I'm going to go back to mine. Like I said, I give it an A. I'll tell you why. Colby Young, guys, first touchdown of the game, right? We had 2 field goals at this point. I'm just here to tell you, I want to see more of that, because that play was done about as perfect as you could imagine. There was no chance almost any corner is going to get to that. It was a perfect pass, perfect route, perfect turnaround, and just plucked it out of the air. And I'm here for it. Loved that. We talked about this in the offseason, Keon, before the season started. Want to see him get some goal line mismatch, and sure enough, it happened. First touchdown. Were you surprised? I know you were probably happy, obviously, but were you surprised that it happened that early? Well, no, I say early, but you go to me.
No,
We
not
needed that to
surprised at
happen.
all. Not surprised at all. I mean, he is phenomenal. And honestly, at this point, just throw it at his forehead because not many people have that range. So um, I don't think it's necessarily. I'm not really shocked. Also, Boston College quarterback just ran for like a 20-yard gain to move the sticks. It is 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. I need you to understand, Harrison, if you are watching this,
Hold on, wait.
you have to come back to this show. Harrison, if you are watching this, man, you got to come back to this show because all of that shit you was talking, Bucko, we got to run it back like a replay. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh shit! I ain't gonna lie. When we come back on the next episode and do our pick'em recaps here, but like I said, because of the game still going, we can't necessarily do it right now. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll leave it there. Tight ends. How do you feel about tight ends? Why would you grade tight ends?
I wouldn't really be able to give you a grade. I mean, honestly,
I would.
they blocked well. Nobody
I'd give
caught
I'd give
passes.
him a B. I'd give him a B. Yes, you did. Lost and
Who
lucky.
caught? Oh
Lost and
no,
lucky.
Lawson Lucky went crazy. You're right. He did catch that. He did catch that. That pass going straight to the seam. But
I'll tell you this. I'm gonna
I
give it.
mean,
I'm
that
gonna give
was
it a.
it.
I'm gonna give it a solid B. I thought. Oh, by the way, that's almost 6. They're about to score. I'm just saying. Chase says F. I'm not going to give you an F.
Oh my God, that is almost 6. Oh,
Listen,
they're in the
Chase.
red zone.
I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to just strongly disagree with the F grade. I would listen. Lost and lucky in pass game. Lost and lucky in the pass game deserves at least a B solid.
Yeah.
Keep in mind when it comes to blocking, guys. Some of that tight end stuff, the blocking that you don't want to sit there and worry about, guys. That sprung runs. Just gonna leave that there. Jurasic definitely, I think, has got to get accustomed to the speed of the game. Got to get stronger. Peter Woods, I don't know if you saw that play. He's thinking right now. And Benny's not trash. I would say he's more so just learning. Dude, you got to understand, when you're at Stanford in the strength and conditioning program and then you come to Georgia, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Entirely different world. And he got here in the summer too. So I know he's got the college experience, but it is a culture shock. And learning the system, I'm not going to hold that against him, at least not yet. And that's a big matchup too, guys. That's probably the biggest game they played that he had played. Peter Woods is probably the craziest thing he's ever seen. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna hold that too much against him, even though like I understand why people would. But Oscar Delt looked great. I thought he did an excellent job blocking, protecting for Carson. Like you said, you didn't really have a ton of receptions, but at the same time, he started clicking and moving the ball with Colby, London, were guys, fine with it. I expect him to be a big part of this offense. Just gonna leave that there. I would expect him to get more involved. Trust me. Their linebackers too could cover. So Wade Woodaz would have did a good job as well. So offensive line, Keon, do you want to do it first? What is your grade for the offensive line?
You know what? I'll need some time on this.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A because you took that front 7, specifically that front 4, and you only allowed 1 sack the whole game. The whole game. Peter Woods, Barrett Carter, Tamarian Parker, all those guys, and you gave up 1 sack. And then you also were moving those guys, especially in the second half. Dylan Fairchild was blocking 30 yards down the field off the screen. Monroe Freeling played left and right tackle, and you couldn't tell because he was just fit in like a glove. It fit like a glove. 7, 8 guys, and it showed. It was a solid solid. And like I said, pass block is A+. You could say that for sure. There were some plays where we got blew up in the run game. That's okay though. Keon, give me your grade.
I'm gonna say a B+. Um, Monroe Freeling, I would love to see more of him at right tackle, especially when we have like Ernest Green out there as well. Um, I think overall, pretty solid day. Pretty solid. You only allow one sack, but at the end of the day, especially if we're really trying to go the distance, the main goal is keeping our quarterback upright.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not really trying to nitpick, but yeah, I
it's
would
really,
love to see. Yeah, I would really like to see more of Monroe Freeling at the right tackle spot.
and I'll tell you this: people want to shit on Xavier Truss, but he really didn't do that bad. Like I thought he did really good considering.
No, I
Considering,
want to see more of him because of the simple fact that he's young and he's talented,
no,
and
I agree.
Trust
I
is
agree.
like in year 4 or 5. Like, come on, we got to get
No,
the young guys some burn.
no. I get it. I ain't mad at it either. I think he wanted the experience against
Also,
that front.
nobody prior to this game that Jazir Jackson was gonna play this year. Boy, were we fucking wrong. In comes the 7-foot big dog. Man,
Buddy, that is a scary presence. That's scary.
wow.
You got Cal. I mean, you had several freshmen playing this game. I think there was 11 freshmen played this game,
Yeah,
and in Clemson game, guys. That's the scary thing. That just shows you
I
how much
mean,
we rotate and how much they trust the future of the team.
yeah, the future of the program. Because at the end of the day,
So
Clemson
Florida State,
isn't.
it is
Uh,
final 28-13. Florida State is 0-2. I guarantee they are out of the top 25. They are out of playoff contention. ACC is wide the fuck open. And
bro,
Boston
that
College.
is
Boston
dog.
College,
I'm
hold
not
on.
gonna lie to you.
Boston College had 270 yards rushing. Wow.
No, the
Um,
ACC is dog shit. Let's be clear. Let's say it. This is the year that Miami to the Miami Hurricanes. No excuses. Go win the conference. No excuses.
we're getting
Everybody
murdered.
else, everybody else, not named Clemson. If we're going off of like a week 1 grade for that conference, everybody else not named Clemson, and you might be able to argue it. I'm not going to. At the end of the day, Clemson faced off against a team that people were saying is going to go out here and win the conference, go out here and win the Natty. Like
Mm-hmm.
Vegas has us favored to go win the national championship this year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shit on them, but Miami, you have to win this conference because right here, right now, it's them and Clemson. You
Yeah.
might be able to say NC State, but
Watch
we
out.
don't even
Well,
know
I'm
what week
curious.
2
I'm
is going to
curious if
look like.
Georgia. I'm curious if Georgia Tech becomes a spoiler to a certain team.
Clemson?
Well, no, Georgia Tech. Could they become a
Oh,
spoiler?
Miami.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying could they? I mean, we'll see. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm with you though. Jeff Hightower said the 24 class will be fucking monsters in 2 years. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, yeah. I think you saw some guys stamp their way onto the field often. When you see Joseph John and Johnny, which is a perfect transition into the defensive line, guys. Joseph John and Johnny was playing before halftime. That speaks volumes to where he stands and how they view him in the defensive line and where they stands on that rotation. Michael Williams, um, not going to necessarily do it. Keon, if you want to do it, you can. But also, Michael sounds like he's kind of like a sprained ankle or something like that. Like a couple, maybe. I'm expecting you don't play against Tennessee Tech. You might not even see him against Kentucky. Take that bye week extra held and then go to Bama. We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
just kind of thinking where I'm thinking now, but yeah, took a knee on a chop block, a high low block from Maffa. I'm not going to do it. I'm sure other people have already. I'm not going to do it. I have my thoughts, but I'm going to just keep them.
Nah, that was dirty as shit. That was for sure dirty as shit. Dirty as shit. Dirty
So,
as shit. Buddy was over there
nonetheless,
getting hit. Nah, we're gonna stay right here. Buddy was over there getting his ass whipped every single snap. Dirty as fuck. That is some pussy shit.
I will say this. When he was in, before he went out, Michael did look disruptive. I thought he was very disruptive. Um, Also, you're looking at D line. I thought Stackhouse had a really good game. Brenton, before he went down with cramps, I thought he did fine too. Overall, I like the rotation. I like the amount of rotation. You couldn't really tell too much. There wasn't a drop off or anything like that. Um, very, very strong in my opinion. In the run game, obviously held them to, I think, like 2 yards a carry, right at 2 or maybe 2.1 yards per carry. And that's that's Clemson running game. So whenever you hold an opponent to 2 yards per carry, that's always impressive. I don't, now the thing is, I'm kind of shocked that they didn't run it more, but that's not my problem. That's a Clemson problem. We capitalized on that and made a lot of havoc there in the run game. I'm gonna give the D line. I'm gonna put the edge as well. I'm gonna put it as an A minus. I'm gonna go A minus, and I'll tell you why. There needs to be more. Like, I wanted to see more pressure on Cade Klubnik. I felt like in the running game, or excuse me, in the passing game and pass rush, there wasn't as much there. We were getting close, but we weren't generating the types of pressure needed, right? We got 2 sacks. Jalen Walker got a sack and a half. Raylan got the other half. But nonetheless, 2 sacks is awesome. I love seeing those. But at the same time, and you get a turnover, right? You force. That's another stat, guys, that keeps living on all the way back the entire 23 season. Every single game, Clemson had a turnover, and it happened again. That was something I wanted to see. We talked about it there. Talked about it on the preview. Could Georgia stop? Could Georgia stop and get a 3 and out? Right? Do they give up an opening drive touchdown? No, they did not. 3 and out. Clemson turnover. Both of those things we called. Ta-da! I'm going A minus. I wanted to see more pressure, especially considering how we felt like their O-line was. I wanted to see more in the pass with them in the pass game. I wanted to get to Klubnik more. You said A plus.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll give it an A plus. I mean, I'm not really worried about
you held it. Overall, you held them to under I think 186 yards total.
2.1 rushing. Yeah, A plus job for me. 100%. Jalen and Raylan rushing is fire. 100%.
I love Raylan.
Look at it. At the end of the day, like you have to give those guys credit. Keeping Mikal and Jalen on the field at the same time, we need to figure out more ways to do that. The coaching staff talked about it, saying that they had to get uncomfortable in practice. So got to get uncomfortable in practice so you can feel comfortable in the game, right?
Yeah, so, it's the attention to detail, man, that makes this defense and makes this team the way it is. Kind of good transition right there. Let's talk linebackers. I thought I'm gonna give it linebackers A plus. They filled the gaps perfectly. They closed 100%. And they crashed where they needed to. They were disruptive in the run lanes. Gap responsibility was where it needed to be. You had Raylan Wilson flying all over the field, Jalen Walker flying all over the field. Smile Mondin looked great now that he's fully healthy. CJ Allen was doing his thing.
Having young guys like Justin Williams come out there and being able to make plays. Somebody who y'all have heard me be very high on, dude. I'm very excited for him. I think he is going to be one of the greats. I mean,
Chris Cole was out there.
You're seeing it already with these guys coming out. Like, it's yet again, Georgia is just continuously telling you and showing you that we have the best linebacker room in the country, and it's not even remotely close.
Yeah. I don't think there's. I think it's a solid A+ there. It's not even. There's no debate. DBs secondary. This accounts for the star position. This accounts for safeties and corners.
A+, no discussion. At the end of the day, with the DBs, I think they did a really good job. Played a great game. Yeah, you had Dalen Everett had catches made on them, but let's be real, they were
The,
mostly what the fuck catches.
when
I
that's
I
something
wait,
that
hold on. I do think we had a good game out of Julio as well. I think you saw that. Um, I think we're gonna go through another week of the cornerback 2 battle. I mean, it's just good on good over there. And then of course you have Malachi, who is just flying everywhere. KJ Bolden first making an impact on the first drive of him being on the field. All of that is stuff that is truly sticking out to us. And at the end of the day, I think it's helping the bottom line of our DB room to be all the way real. I give him an A+.
I have to do the same thing, but I've got a bone to pick with anybody that wants to shit on Dalen Everett. Dalen Everett's being painted as a bad DB or painted as the bad guy per se. But if you really go back to it, most of the catches, not just in Clemson, but last year too, how many catches on him were really tough catches? Plays that most DBs might not even get onto. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that every catch that was given up by him was like that, but most of them were.
I mean,
And
even
then
if you look back at the one of the catches that was made on him just this past Saturday, you're talking about him being in a trail technique, which is what the play called for. You know,
almost perfect
Cade
position.
Klubnik, yeah, like Cade Klubnik, he put the ball exactly where he had to. I
You
mean,
know
but
what,
that doesn't mean
Keon?
that he was out of phase.
Tell me an NFL corner that would be able to break up that pass. Tell me an NFL corner that could get on that.
I really don't know many, if any, because like that, like I said, that was a perfect pass over his head where he was already playing the trail. So it's not like, oh, he was all the way out of phase and he was beat offline. That's what the play called for.
Yeah, you got the
Because
Brenningsel catch too. That just 6'6", 265 tight end just going up and making a just ridiculous one-handed catch. Ain't no cornerback. He's what 6'1", 6'2", Dalen.
mhm.
There ain't many DBs at all that's gonna be able to get over that and break that up. That's it. You asking for a miracle to be made trying to stop those passes. The only way those passes weren't gonna get completed was if the receiver dropped them.
I just want to point this out real quick, just real quick sidestep. Uh Kevin Wynn and CJ Wiley were both at that game watching
Oh,
that happen.
little juicy recruiting point
Look, hey
there.
man, CJ Wiley, if you're watching this, right? KJ Bolden went crazy, right? You saw that. You seen that, right?
Think he made the right decision?
Think you made
Absolutely.
the right decision. He would have went to Florida State. He would have been the best person on that team that's now 0-2. Don't know. We won 0. They 0-2. I don't know.
I need to know, hey, CJ Wiley, if you're paying attention, what's the future of the Florida State quarterback room? What's that gonna look
Hmm.
like?
I can tell
It's
you how
okay.
ours is gonna look. You
Drop
talking
that
about Gunnar
one.
Stockton, Jaden Rashada. It's beautiful regardless.
And the pug.
And the
That's just
pub.
this year. That's just this year.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna let it be known right there. It is what it is. Um, so Armando Black says, not bashing the kid, but he's the weakest link on our defense. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I get the logic. I'm just not gonna. I'm not. I gotta defend my guy. I just do. When the optics of it is what makes this look bad. It just makes it look bad. But again, both catches were the best catches of the game. You legitimately had the two wow catches just so having to go up on top of him. And it's just I would say it's more bad luck because every time he's been in position, you can't you have to credit receivers at times too. You can't always shit on the DB. Sometimes those receivers make plays. Um, I just don't know if I can buy that ever being the weakest link in the secondary. You could say that last year for sure because of the guys that you had in that secondary. I just can't say that right now. And if he was the weakest link, Kirby wouldn't be playing his ass. Because you've got both Julian Humphrey and Daniel Harris. Oh yeah, Ellis Robinson looked good too. He had made a freshman mistake, but he was doing his thing too. So if he was the weakest link, I guarantee you he wouldn't be playing. His ass would have left. So that's just where I'm at with it. I'm not saying you're wrong, Armando. I'm just saying I'm not buying that he's the weakest link in that secondary. Just not. I mean, I get the logic. I do get the logic on the debate. I just can't say that just yet. Not yet. If you're talking coverage, I'd say Dan Jackson possibly. But that's also safety compared to corner. I'm not going to get into that argument. Chase White says our corners never play the ball anymore. Guys, I don't know how to really explain this, Keon, but the way Georgia DBs were taught for years, if you go back and look at, I mean, this goes all the way back to J.R. Reed, DeAndre Baker, all those guys. Guys, there was a lot of the times they played looking at the corner or the receiver. That's how they were taught to play the ball. I think that's still happening. So I think when you get mad at people, when you get mad at DBs for not turning their head, not all the time they're supposed to be doing that. Sometimes they are supposed. That's how they cover the ball. It's different. I understand.
Jeff, I agree with you 100%. Humphrey did look very sharp. Blaine Crane, gotta just real quick. Bro, when I tell you the timeline is cooking DJU, Blaine Crane said Dabo Swinney won 11 games with DJU. Might be the best coaching job ever.
Was it better than James Franklin at Vanderbilt?
Yes.
Oh
yes. This dude is a 2-pack of ass. Holy
value.
shit.
Are you saying that's a value pack?
Value pack. Look what Barstool Sports posted. Like, what are we doing here?
I'm just letting you know, his dad's going to be punching air right now. I'll tell you that. Just going to be leaving
Apparently, that. Hey, man, look, I'm not going to laugh at nobody on air, but CJ Wiley, dog, if you don't fucking decommit from that bullshit, if you don't fucking decommit from that bullshit, you know you ain't going there. You know you ain't going there.
God almighty, dude! First off,
you don't decommit from that bullshit.
Boy, God almighty, I'm gonna get to some more comments in just a minute. But guys, the state of Florida is down bad right now, except for Miami. It's bad. So Armando says Humphrey looked good. That's why he was not getting picked on. Also, keep in mind, Dalen Everett was guarding the only receiver that could do anything. There was a point in the game that Antonio Williams was the only receiver to have positive yards from a receiving standpoint. Guys, that was the only option they had in the pass game. The only one, and he was just assigned to it. Everyone else, their receivers just weren't that good. I mean, Clemson fans were literally wanting to send Adam Randall to the damn portal mid-game. They do not – I was surprised they didn't play Wesco and that other freshman. But Antonio Williams is an NFL player, by the way. I'm just going to let it be known. So that's just – I'm not this – I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I think Dalen had a pretty damn good game considering – guys, they didn't even get close to 200 yards total. Keep that in mind. He had like 140 yards passing the whole game. It's not easy to do, especially with Clemson. It's just not. Just not, man. Yeah, we're going to jump special teams really fast. I'm going to give this an A plus
Fucking
plus.
A plus.
I'm
Fucking A
giving
plus.
I'm giving the plus plus.
Plus plus.
First,
You doing
yes,
the plus plus or the plus plus plus?
I'm doing plus plus, just two.
Plus plus.
And I'm going to start with this. Brett Thorson. I know Carson hates you, or you seem that way. You make it seem that way. I understand. But when we asked you to do your job, by God, did you fucking do your job? Clemson's average starting field position was their own 14.
Yeah.
That is why special teams matters.
Lad's got a boot.
Yeah. And then Peyton Woodring, dude, 55-yarder.
Bam, motherfucker.
Yeah. Nailed 2 for 2 on his field goals. I think they were both from 40 or beyond, I believe. I think.
Bell.
Perfect on the day. I know. Perfect on the day. I know the one was 55. So whenever you hit a 55-yarder and you're perfect on the day for 2 for 2, and then you have that stat that I just dropped, guys and girls, I should say. Let me make sure we're clear. You can't get much better than that. You just can't do it. Just can't do it. Oh man, that was fun. Armando says no fans were wearing paper bags on their heads tonight in the fourth quarter. No way. Dudes, listen, if you find us on Twitter, tag me in that photo. I need to see that.
Dude, I'm seeing hashtag FSU hashtag Trail of Tears.
Oh, my word. My word. Florida State fans losing on X/Twitter right now. Rightfully so. Well deserved. Yeah. Couldn't happen to a better team. Armando says, do you really trust Everett guarding Jeremiah Smith or Isaiah Bond? I don't know if there's hardly many DBs in the country that I would trust one-on-one with those guys. They're that good. I think you have a better shot against Isaiah Bond, but Jeremiah Smith, I know he's a freshman, but that boy's special. He is special. So I don't know how many DBs in the country I would trust. I mean, you might look at Will Johnson, maybe the Michigan one, maybe. Outside of that, I can't really tell you. Those boys are special. So more so Jeremiah Smith. I think Jeremiah Smith, by the time Jeremiah Smith is a junior and he goes to the league, yeah, that should be one of the better receivers they've had in at least recent memory, if not ever.
Yeah, can we talk about college football as a whole? Shout outs to everybody that has a great young freshman that got the chance to showcase how great they truly are and how great they're going to be. Yet again, you was talking about Ohio State. There's multiple others as well. I know we played all of them. We also played a 7-footer, which that was also crazy. Can you imagine being the edge rusher, seeing Jazir Jackson walk onto the field?
I'd be
like, all right, they're finally subbing this guy out. Cool.
I'd be like Will Ferrell.
Fuck? Yeah,
I'd be like Will Ferrell. I'm so fucking scared right now.
Like,
let's see, Chase White. See, now we're getting questions. I like these kind of questions. These are interesting. Do you trust Everett on Ryan Williams? Yes. At this point, yes. Come week 5, I think you probably look at it that way. The one thing about it is this. I saw Chase also say wouldn't put him on Burden. Guys, if Malachi Starks did what he did at the star position, I'm saying that's a lockdown on Burden, just like Kamar did. I trust Malachi that much. Because if you think about it, Kamar was cornerback 1. And last year when we played Missouri, they moved him to the slot and locked down Burden for the most part. I think Starks is capable enough to do it. And you know he can cover. So, by the way, it started to feel a lot like Oregon. Shout out to Malachi on that one, by the way. Keon, that pick, that's got to be the play of the game. Would you agree? Or sure. How about this? What is your play of the game? Well, if you had to choose your play of the game, what is it?
That Cash Jones, where he just grabbed the motherfucker and just put him into the turf. I think that was symbolic of how the game went. When you have a walk-on running back that's out here ready to come out here and punch on shit and punch on you and get in that end zone and celebrate. Shout out to the exciting whites.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do. You wanna talk about exciting whites? I'm gonna keep it in the family. London Humphreys. I thought London Humphreys' touchdown was extremely symbolic. I talked about it to start the show. The main difference was team speed, and that was the obvious. That was the obvious exploitation of the gap. It just was. That's just my thoughts on it. But them white boys are fast, ain't they?
No, for real.
You all across the board though. You saw the team speed was just different. Just different. Jeff Hightop says the 40-yard run by Frazier. Yeah. Excuse me. Do you see Nate Frazier moving into the 2 spot when ETN returns from suspension? I think it depends on the matchup. It could, but I'm curious. I think it's a matchup thing, man. Armando, I said it earlier. I don't know if you were here listening or not, but I think just stylistically, this matchup was not suitable for Branson. I just don't. There's a reason why as soon as you inserted Nate Frazier and Cash Jones, things picked up. It's just the elusiveness, the sideline speed. Guys, Clemson linebackers are built to run north and south, and the defensive line, guys, they're good at generating pressure and closing things up between the tackles. That's what they're best at. They're what they're known for. Again, that's a stylistic mismatch for Branson Robinson. This is exactly why I said again, and I'm gonna finish on that. Nate Frazier was a game meant for him. It would have been meant for ETN. I guarantee it. ETN would have blown up too. By design, it would have happened. So I think when you see Cash Jones doing his thing, when you see Nate Frazier doing his thing, it was just a matchup, a mismatch. Our running backs on their linebackers, we had the ability to run to the sides, get to the edges. Branson just isn't that kind of back for us as much. More bruiser, north-south type thing. Styles make matchups. So that's where I'm at with that. Chase White says, I know Starks, Julian, and Harris can cover Ryan or Burden, but I can't trust Everett. I wouldn't put – if it came down to us playing Missouri, he ain't going to do it. He'll play Theo Weiss. He would play Theo Weiss. You'd probably you'd probably move Malachi into the star in that game like what you did Kamari because it worked and just let it roll. So I would put him on Theo Weiss. I wouldn't put him on that. I wouldn't put him on Burden either. I think you'd be setting up the team up for failure if you did that. He's not a slot guy. He's a true corner. He's not a slot. He's not a nickel corner. Starks could be. Just not Everett. That's okay. Keon, let's talk. You talked about NC. Let's talk college football's back. Let's do this before we get to the obvious. What teams impressed you the most this weekend? You're muted. There you go.
Notre Dame.
Okay.
Right. Didn't expect for their defense to be able to go out there and handle Texas A&M's D-line. I would say Vanderbilt. Yet again.
Shout out to Hold on. Shout outs to Vanderbilt.
No, seriously.
You are not the worst team in the conference anymore. Holy shit.
Florida is.
You got it, dude.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I got one. Miami, speaking of. You look like I know it's early. It's very premature. But by far, you look like the best team in the ACC right now. And easily the best team in the fucking state of Florida. There's not even a shot that they're
How are we in week 1 and there's no competition anymore?
So you're telling me in the 100-meter dash, the finals, Florida fell on their face, false started, disqualified. Florida State, same damn thing? No way. Did you have that on the bingo card, Keon? Keon, Dr.
No, I didn't have Florida State on my bingo card.
I see what Chase is saying. Calm down there, Chase. I see what you're saying. Calm down. Armando says Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, USC. Speaking of the win over LSU, and then Miami. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good list. Most impressive to me. I'm trying to think. There's a couple good ones. Penn State. Penn State. There was some talks that they may have had. They were going to struggle at West Virginia. That was farthest from the truth. Um, I need to see more, but as it stands right now, new coordinator made Drew Aller look really good. Also,
Yeah,
Iowa.
like that's a draftable prospect.
If the coordinator made that big of a difference, Penn State might legitimately be a threat in the
Yeah,
Big Ten.
yeah.
USC. You can say what you want,
Miller
but
Moss.
I genuinely think after one game, I think you're going to see a better USC defense,
Mm-hmm.
and Miller Moss might just be the truth. You can say Tennessee, but I need to see them against NC State before I really give a stamp of, okay, got it. I'm not saying Nico's not good. I'm just saying I need to see him against NC State. However, what he did against Iowa in the bowl game, you can't take that away from him. So I feel like he's there, but I think if he does the same thing against NC State, even though NC State didn't look all that great, if you can do it on NC State, yep, stamp it. Stamp it. Anyone else? I'm thinking of another one. I'm sure there's some out there.
Let's get to my favorite segment.
You know
Let's
what?
get to my favorite
Let's
segment.
let's do it. Let's do it, guys. For those that are tuning in, first off, before we do, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and on podcasts, rate and review. Now, first things first, Keon, did you or did anyone in the chat before you took off to Atlanta? Right, I know you didn't go to Atlanta, but if anyone went to Atlanta, did you make sure to stop by our friends at Alumni Hall? Guys, every game day, you should go there and get you something, right? They got jerseys, they've got t-shirts, they've got long sleeve shirts because, hey, that fall weather's starting to feel like it's starting to slowly creep in. See a couple leaves falling off them trees. Everything you need for game day, back to school, all everything, all licensed apparel, merchandise, everything like that. Everything's licensed. Guys, it's where Dawgs fans shop. It's always football time in Athens, baby. Go get yourself some stuff from Alumni Hall. Go to our website, dgdpodcast.com, and find our sponsors there. If you shop online, if you use our website, 8% goes to the Classic City Collective. Or if you go in store in Athens, Georgia, if you go in store, go in there, tell them to mention our show, DGD Podcast. Say, hey, the guys over at the DGD Podcast, they told me you can get 10% off. Is that true? Absolutely. Here, let me put that discount in there. Cha-ching, 10% off your entire order. Mentioning the show in store only. Thanks, Alumni Hall, for sponsoring the show. And also, I'm going to do a free advertisement. Guys, Saturday morning, have me some Jittery Joes. I attacked the day, figuratively and literally. Boy,
Yeah.
that's some good shit. That's some good shit. Some damn
Shout
good
out
coffee,
to
boy.
Jittery Joe's.
Ooh, some bold stuff, and I love it. Gets me going in the morning, I'll tell you that. Keon, let's do this. Your favorite segment of the week. I love these recap shows because we always get to do this. Keon, there's a segment called, what's that called?
Your team is trash, and you have to deal with that.
If you're not familiar with Your Team is Trash, we take the biggest losers of each college football week and we point and we laugh and we tell you theoretically and maybe even literally, your team is trash and every one of your fans have to fucking deal with it. And we get to tell you everything that you don't want to hear about your team that we saw. With that being said, Keon, let's start the 2024 season off right. Who was the first victim of this?
There's a couple that I could say. I could go easily Texas A&M.
Is that who you choosing first? Is that the first one?
But nah, my first one is Florida. Florida, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Let me tell you why. First and foremost, Billy Napier, he's not serious. Graham Mertz is dog shit. I've been trying to tell y'all that Graham Mertz is dog shit, but all y'all told me was, oh, well, he led the conference in completion percentage. But they don't tell you that those completed passes are behind the line of scrimmage. So technically, they're design runs. So, he sucks. He fucking sucks. Yet
You
again,
know what? I
offense
saw
still looks like dog shit. Strength and conditioning's not really helping. You still got guys over there who damn near 500 pounds. 500 pounds. What are we doing? What are we doing?
he's
What are
literally
we doing?
Keon. He's literally a Bojangles biscuit away from starring in my 600-pound life.
What is it? The Bowberry biscuit?
Don't do that, man. Damn.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, don't do that to me.
One Bowberry biscuit, 500-pound life. That's
You know what,
That's where
Keon?
he's at.
Keon, I need to jump in before I need to get this off my chest. Billy Napier, I saw more fight in you trying to struggle to open that water bottle than I did against Miami Saturday. You fought harder to open that damn water bottle than you did.
Chase, I'm there. You already see me, Chase. Look, they are absolute dog shit. Now,
Listen, I gotta let it be known. Hold on. You want to know how fucking trash Florida is? These recruits that you brought in are getting publicly. They get to sit here and watch Miami players dap them up in your own fucking stadium, might I add, telling them to come to the U in your own stadium. First off, you got beat historically bad. Historically bad. Jeff Hightoff, exactly. It was the same result, but more fight. The water bottle won. It's the epitome of the Florida program right now. Oh, man. I can go on and on and on, Keon, but I know we've got more people to talk about. But, Keon, I got to do this. Florida Gators, Billy Napier, your AD, your whole fucking program is straight trash, right? Double value, like 2 trash cans full of hot ass. Your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. And I don't see it being over anytime soon. Now, Keon, next one I'm going. I took this one personally. I'm not gonna lie. I took it personally. Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech Hokies. Your team is trash. And you have to deal with that. The problem is it shouldn't be because you brought everybody back. You brought everybody back, generally speaking. I want to say almost 90% of your returning starters, they came back. And you let Vanderbilt beat you. I don't care if it's on the road. Guys, when you go to Vanderbilt, it's literally a traveling home game for about anybody. You did the one thing that no one should ever do. It's the cardinal sin. Keon, the cardinal sin. Never give Vanderbilt hope. Never do it. There should never be a case where they feel any sense of hope, and you fucking made it happen. And it wasn't like it was just a last-second field goal. You went to overtime, but it didn't tell the story that during the game you were down double digits to them. I'm going to give Vanderbilt credit for taking away a victory from you and giving it to them. This is the first time in God knows how long they've started 1-0. So shout out to Vanderbilt. This is as much for you as it is for us. You know what? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to make myself look like a fucking fool, Keon. I had literally contemplated thinking that the Virginia Tech before this season was a dark horse to win the conference. It took 4 quarters of football to make me realize just how stupid I am when it comes to this shit. So Vanderbilt, congratulations. You are not the worst team in the conference anymore. Keon, do you have anything to say for Virginia Tech, or we just need to move on?
No, congrats, Vandy. Proud of you. Look at you.
But Virginia Tech, I'm going to tell you it again. Your team is trash, and you got to deal with that. But I still want to go to Blacksburg to watch Enter Sandman. That's
Yeah.
all. On a Thursday or Friday, I would love to see it, but your team's trash. Keon, there's another one, and I think it's a little close home for you.
Texas A&M, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Let's get it started. Can we get a zoom in real quick? Because I got to really get this off my chest. Texas A&M, you are the stepsister, the horrible, horrible stepsister to this conference within your own state. I mean, just you're constantly getting stuffed into the locker. You get bullied by Texas, OU. It's y'all are the forgotten stepdaughter of Texas. Um, wow. Connor Wegman, shitty. Somebody smells like shit. Okay, somebody smells like shit. Connor Wegman, whoa, what the fuck was that, man? Rob, I gotta tell him, Texas A&M, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Jesus Christ.
You couldn't have said it any better. Now, you might be wondering, there's a fourth and final one, but it's not who you think it is. I guarantee you will never guess who this is. Drop a comment if you think you know who it is. I'm going to give it, Keon, I'm going to let this one marinate for just a little bit. I want to give some build up for this one. Keon, we saw a lot of football this weekend.
Florida State.
It's not Florida State. Mine is not Florida State. It's not. So if you type in comments, it's not Florida State. I'm going to let you let's do this. Let the people decide what they think it is. Keon, we saw a lot of good football. Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of bad football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give us a second here.
I know who it is. I'm going
to sit there and look at Oregon. I'm going to sit there and look at Michigan. Boy, y'all got some work to do. South Carolina, I knew y'all were going to be bad. I didn't know it was going to look like that. But those are still not the answers. Keon, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
For the final, your team is trash. I got to do it.
What is?
Look here. DirecTV. Your team is trash. And you should know that your team is trash. My goodness. The middle of the U.S. Open. Minutes before the college football on a Saturday. Right before the college football season generally starts on that Saturday. Tons of football games. You want to end with Disney, therefore eliminating the channels of ESPN and all these other ones, Disney, all the Disney channels from your platform. What in the entire fuck are you doing? What are you doing? You know how many people, I'm telling you right now, I was a smart person and I moved away. from DirecTV. Still got the dish. YouTube TV. You the real one. Hopefully you had ESPN Plus. Because you didn't have to worry about missing much. All right. But DirecTV, you better get that shit squared away, boy. Y'all about to lose a lot of fucking business. A lot of business. Because I don't think you understand. I thought there were some really good matchups on this fucking game. On that slate Saturday, there's some good fucking football being played. It started with Georgia and Clemson. But a lot of your customers, all your customers, by add, didn't get to watch it. Because you can't get your business squared away. Listen, if you have DirecTV, if you have that dish and it's active, consider YouTube TV or Fubo, either way, streaming service, right? Get your shit together, okay? It's 2024. Streaming, baby. Streaming is the way to go. With that being said, DirecTV and your dish have an ass. Your team is trash. and you have to fucking deal with that. I rest my case on behalf of not only just myself, but the entire country. Your team is fucking dog shit. You have terrible customer service. Absolutely terrible customer service. Period. Keon, that's all we've got for the Your Team is Trash segment. Still going to put LSU there. I think LSU, five straight season opening losses. Woof.
But it doesn't get any worse than what we're seeing here right now with Florida State. Can't wait to get into these spaces so I can hear the tears for myself. Gotta see the tears.
It could not happen to a better fan base because you cried for 8 months. Georgia beat you so bad that you
broke
cried.
That program.
I'm telling you right now, nasty narratives, guys. Hashtag nasty narrative in the comments, please. Georgia broke Florida State 100%, and I'll tell you why. 60-point loss. They haven't stopped suing anybody. They've sued anybody and everybody. Keon, you might want to be careful. You thinking about Florida State might trigger them to sue your ass. They sued the ACC. They sued TV, all that shit, all of it. I'm just here to tell you that even the fan base, if you're on social media, it was nonstop complaining about how we got left out. We were undefeated. You made rings. 13-0 rings, unconquered rings, after the fact that you got beat by 60. But that's right. It didn't matter because your players weren't there in the bowl game. The funny thing is the players that played in that bowl game are the players that are getting their shit pushed in 2 games in a row right now. So Florida State fans, you can hate me. You can hate Keon. You can hate the show. Why don't you leave a fucking 1-star review? Why don't you? I guarantee you will. But until then, keep bitching, keep crying, because we're sitting here loving every minute of it. Every minute of it. Keon's about to join a Twitter space right now. I guarantee he's in there right now.
I am. I'm literally waiting for us to close the space so you can hear this. They are pissed. Oh my God.
We're not going to keep Keon waiting. You've heard it here. 34-3 victory. Next up on the slate is Tennessee Tech.
Ooh.
Watch out now. They played a good game against Middle Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Be careful. We're not going to talk about that right now. We've got some receipts that we need to uncover, and we've got some tears and some complaining to listen to. You might call us a counselor, call me the drill instructor. I'll listen to you, bitch, but I'll cuss you out afterwards. It's okay. By the way, when it comes to Your Team is Trash, please excuse us, but if you have kids, that is not a segment for kids or for work. Maybe you need to make something on that. Not suitable for work. Put some headphones in. Should have told you that beforehand. But now you know. So if you don't know, now you know. Keon, that's all we've got. It was good recap.
All right. So
Dawgs
let me go ahead and close them out just like this. If you are not a Georgia fan, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Good night. Go Dawgs.